Hey, welcome back. We got some stuff going on a Sunday. Before we get into the work week, we've got one more chance to sweep the board 15 up, 15 down when it comes to the likes, the leans, and everything in between. All right, at Shander Show, best way to get me, best way to complain, best way to harass, best way to attack. That's where you can find me. You can also find me in the comments. You can get me here, thumbs up, and subscribe if you like. We always appreciate that. I got this thing happening here still at Bet365. I got to tell you, gambling problem, as you know, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You have to be 21 or older. Let's begin. Look at that. Nice and beautiful thing at 11:35 on the East Coast. Pray for people, Lindquist and others. Jordan Klein, these people are going to be on the West Coast. Was like 4 a.m. at that point? No, sir. Nobody's waking up to watch baseball in California. Not Angels fans. We know that. What does this mean? Under 8. Bibby. Tanner Bibby back in the house. You think I'm going to fall for the trap? You think I'm going to take Patrick Sandoval to do anything special here? The general consensus, smart thinking, would be that both teams tear the cover off the baseball. But it's super early. And trip away from home be damned for the Angels. We think this is a pretty good spot for everybody to just kind of snooze through this. It's a Sunday. It's 11:35 Eastern. It's early in Cleveland. It's early in LA. It's early in Philly where I am. It's just early. All right. So happy Mother's Day to you. If you're in Cleveland, you get to wake up and watch this shit. See? By the way, that's why this whole graphic exists, because it was just meant to get rid of my face. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's keep it moving. Baltimore -1.5 on the. We're not, again, Tanner Bibby and Pat Sandoval is the one who we stay away from. But Bibby was fine. Just want to let you know. Bibby was the guy that we were really looking at more so than anything else. All right, here we go. Baltimore hosting Pittsburgh. Kyle Gibson, not much. The 6-7 walk rate is what we'll hold on to, because Mitch Keller should come in and have his way with some strikeouts. But unless he's striking 10, 11 guys out, he's going to have to pitch to some contact. That's where he gets into some trouble. Baltimore, on the other hand, we understand that it's not the best matchup specific for Gibson, but they've got some guys that can turn on the ball and have been hitting it hard with Mountcastle, Hayes. Love this. Again, we wait to see who starts, but especially behind the plate. But just looking at this, total going over 8 is fine for me as far as a lean is concerned, but I'm better off looking at it more so from the standpoint of, and that's just where I am, from the standpoint of Baltimore -1.5, at least on the run line. Okay. Under 9.5. Wow. A game that we thought was dead. Shout out to the Parlay of the Day video. We finally ended on the week with a positive note. I won't go a week. I won't go a week. Under 9.5 here. What's happening? Well, we know that game took god-awful forever. Finally bounced back. Jake Irvin with very little. Max Scherzer with a lot, but not much, as far as like a lot of tread, but nothing to really show for it. This is going to be a stretch of the imagination to think that the New York Mets or the Washington Nationals are going to be able to even score off these bad pitchers. Pardon me. Here's the problem. Luis Garcia, Kybert Ruiz, Dominic Smith. You've got Joey Menzies. Remember we were saying that? Oh, no, you weren't on the Prize Picks video. Sorry. Menzies, because you won't get it now. It's an inside joke. I get these videos swapped and mixed up a lot. I apologize. But even you're not going to find these pockets of Ks that would necessarily indicate that Scherzer has any boost to him. I just don't think that either one of these teams offensively, while they may not strike out, and on the other side, as far as the Mets, a little bit less of a gap, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of hitting. You're not going to see a lot of runs. You're not going to see a lot of manufactured opportunities to score either. Nothing yet on the board here, so we're going to lean YRFI. It was a little successful for us in that Saturday, yeah? Not for this game, but I'm just saying. What do we have here? We do have Kikuchi on one side, and the flip would be Colin McHugh. Now, McHugh, look, you're not going to get many strikeouts here over a stretch period of time. Kikuchi is playing better when it comes to pitching from or pitching to strikeouts. But if you're looking at just pitching to contact, both of these guys, it's going to be some problems here. So we don't anticipate, like Kikuchi probably won't walk anybody in the first. Okay, that's great. But he's probably not going to strike anybody out. We know McHugh's not going to strike anybody out. So that leaves some pitches. Now, both of these guys are just not pitching well to contact. That's why we would lean YRFI. Let's move to Detroit. Over 8.5 would be the play here. And you want to look at offense, I think, more so than anything. Look, the pitching matchup is not one that would necessarily scream, okay, 15 runs in a game, because you do have one guy, at least Logan Gilbert. But the other side of this in Joey Wentz is a beatable arm. Road team coming into town, so they're going to have to do some heavy lifting and probably the majority of the work here. But we can get to 9. We can get 6 runs or so from Seattle. You're talking about a guy in Joey Wentz just doesn't have the K material. I don't think he has the closing material to get out of innings. Look, as much as you'll find strikeouts in Seattle's lineup, you're going to have a couple of guys that are going to hit well to contact. It's just a bad spot. Just because they strike out doesn't mean Wentz Ks. You still have to actualize. You still have to activate. You still have to turn that into something. And it doesn't look strong right now for Wentz. So one of these sides should explode. And look, doesn't mean that Logan Gilbert is terrible or anything like that, but he's not the best pitcher in baseball either. At least not at the end of the season. He won't be. Speaking of which, remember saying me, oof. Over 8 here. The Reds, this is going to be fascinating if the weather has any impact, but we're going into this at least riding bats versus Weaver and Braxton Gilbert. Luke Weaver, Braxton Gilbert, Garrett, sorry. I was Logan Gilbert on the mind. The only thing that we really have in front of us that you would bank on would be walks on both sides, but who cares? If you're getting smacked around, who cares if you're not walking anybody? You've given up base hit after base hit. That's a problem. You can't just sit back and expect that because you're not walking somebody, it means you're winning a game or it means that you're owning the opposition at the plate. Neither one of these guys are pitching to contact at all. They are getting smoked. So if you're not striking people out, 21.9% for Weaver, 19.3% for Garrett, it's not enough. It's simply not enough. This game is going to go over. And we sit here at 8 with a smaller number on FanDuel. And this is the one that I jump in on at FanDuel because, as you know, lines move, things shift, things change. So we built this thing looking at it like, all right, where could we get the best total? And we found it there at 8. Oh, boy, this is like music to my ears. Just give me a little bit more. I love it. YRFI in the house. Look at that low total at 7.5. Louis Varland? No, sir. Nope. Marcus Stroman, nothing negative. It's not like, oh my God, this is a disaster, a puddle waiting to get out there on the mound and melt. But Louis Varland, strikeouts be damned for Louis Varland. He is going to get cooked. I guarantee you it's Varland who's the culprit. And just wait for this thing to happen. Varland will be the culprit without a doubt. He cannot pitch to contact. Any jam he's in where there's just going to have to be a hittable strike is probably going to be sent. There's probably going to be a first inning home run against Varland because he can't help himself. He simply can't help himself. He's out there itching and scratching. Oh, man, what else can I do? Clawing away at this. And yet he's not able to get by off contact. So that 28.2% K rate looks great, doesn't it? Until you start to see what else you got. Very thin margin for success for Varland. And look, Stroman is hittable. It's just a matter of what we can find here. And I think, again, against this lineup for Minnesota, I'm not worried about three guys going up and down and striking out. I'm worried about if it's Gallo, if in fact somebody can get ahead of time. Buxton, if somebody can get on the base path. And I think you can. Either way, one of these guys, Varland, is going to give up a run. Nothing here, so it's a lean. We'll wait until this thing pops up where the total is specifically, but I'd be inclined with this pitching matchup, at least Jordan Lyles and Colin Rea, to just stay under the first 5. I know that neither one of these guys truly have that dominant K rate that you love to hear about and listen to and bet off of in these videos, but both of these teams right here, I don't necessarily know if you should expect some fireworks. We'll see. I also think that because there's an expectation of some runs, that total might be a little high. Therefore, we can get some value going under the first 5. So that's where I would look at it more so than anything else. To Colorado, now we actually have some numbers, some stuff to look at. We're going to go over 10.5 here at Coors Field. You saw already how dangerous this thing can get in a matter of just minutes, how fast this thing can pick up. Aaron Nola on the hill, on the road, though, and that road being Coors Field, the K rate just not there this year. Not there at all. He is pitching to some contact, but contact is just a little different in Colorado than it is in South Philadelphia. Actually, probably not much. The ball carries like a mother down here, too. Happy Mugs Day. Kyle Freeland. Okay. Not great. Lineup adjustments. Bryce Harper up, down. Kyle Schwarber being moved. Alec Boehm up. It's going to mess. At some point, this thing's going to figure itself out. And it probably needs a matchup like this against Freeland in order to work itself. And I think you're going to start to see the ramifications, positive effect of that. So I'm happy to jump in on this and look at this at over 10.5 plays. All right, we got a couple more. I want to just run through this as we can. Reminder, what's going on below, right, at Bet365. Told you about that. New Jersey, Colorado, Ohio, Virginia, whatever. Jump in. Here's the Discord. I'll show you that 30-unit beauty in a second, but here's the Discord. Whoa, first week, half off. Lindy is there. I'm there. Ben's there. Isaiah's there. The 4 of us. And when we have a 30-unit day, we'd like to remind you, hey, we had a 30-unit day. I don't care if you've never placed a bet before or if you're just a smarter, better than me, and you know this from these videos, we want you in here because the community can benefit. And we will walk you through stuff or we will say, thank you, tell us more. Whatever the case is. We want you here as part of the community because smart people live here. Ooh, that sounds like a good smart people live here. Let's go to Arizona. Over 8.5. You don't have Zach Gallen. He ain't walking through that door, right? So what do you have for a pitching matchup, especially one that would indicate you would stay away? Oh, boy. I can't help it. The door was open. Blame Lindquist on the odd shot. Brandon Pfaadt and Logan Webb. Pfaadt out there at 13 and 6.5 K to walk ratio, respectively. Meanwhile, Logan Webb is in the house. Logan Webb is probably going to deal for a little bit, but at some point we like Arizona, who it's just a hard team to wear down from a K standpoint. So if you were looking at like a first 5, I would lean San Fran spread first 5, but I would look at over 8.5 and think that the Giants really are going to be able to get over on Pfaadt and to get to 4 or 5 runs for San Francisco should not be that difficult. On the other side, look, I get it. while you've got Logan Webb out there, and he should pitch to comfort for the first couple of innings, at some point, I think Arizona, they're just a hard team to grind down like that. You don't expect 15. I keep giving you exaggerations. Don't expect 7 Ks, what have you, from Logan Webb before this thing unravels. If he's out there that long, I wouldn't anticipate. Just saying, not for me. Not saying that I wouldn't place the bet. I'm just saying I'm going over 8.5. So under 9.5 here. I knew we'd find an under. Dodgers are back in business after that Urias. And you've got Tony Gonsolin on the hill versus Weather, right? So Ryan Weathers. I'm banking on Ryan Weathers. I'm banking on, because neither one of these guys are going to do anything striking anybody out. There's nothing there. Tony Gonsolin, though, has been able to limit mistakes while not relying on Ks and pitching successfully, mind you, to contact. Fine there. No issue there. That's actually a good spot. Ryan Weathers, man. Ryan Weathers. Ryan Weathers. You're going to fuck us. You're going to screw us. Oh, my God. It's going to be so bad. But you know what? We got no choice. We really have no choice. Look at these numbers here. Look at these. Minus 188. You're not going to lay that. Minus 1.5 at plus 104. No. The total is the only thing you can do here. And even going over that is insanity because Gonsolin's in the house. So you really, really have one guy that you're asking to help you right now. Just one guy. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you just reach out and help me? I think you can. I think you can go under 9.5 here. Ryan Weathers is going to be the hero. He is the hero in all of this. He is the linchpin. He is the glue, whatever the phrase is. He's the guy that's going to do it. Oakland A's on the run line. Oakland A's on the run line. The Oakland A's on the run line? Wait a second. Let me go through these notes. Is that a mistake? Are you setting me up? I know you just put this stuff up here and I go with it. Drew Rosinski. It's pronounced Rosinski. Rosinski. Andrew Heaney is going to get knocked around. That's basically what we've told you. By putting that small little graphic down there, we've told you that the Oakland A's are going to win this thing because Andrew Heaney's not. Because Andrew Heaney goes down. Down goes Heaney, probably in the third or fourth. Oakland comes out aggressive. Oakland is dealing with a pitcher who has a decent K rate but doesn't necessarily rely as much. I think you see a small ball, a death by small ball here for Andrew Heaney, which would lead Oakland into winning this game. Oakland, it's not nice. It's not good. It doesn't sound right on the ears. But at plus 142, you better believe there's some value there on the board. And I'm getting ahead of this number before anybody else realizes, hey, 142 is gone, or that just changes altogether and you're ahead of it. But yes, Oakland can win this thing. Yes, over 10, final game, Sunday Night Baseball. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. St. Louis, Boston. Miles Mikolas. No. Corey Kluber. No. I mean, what are we talking about here? Seriously, what are we talking about here? Nothing. Nothing when it comes to command. Nothing when it comes to control. Nothing when it comes to the ability to keep runners off the base path. All three of these guys, I don't know why I said the third. I'm the third. Whoa. Both of these guys are cooked. They are dead on arrival. They just don't know it yet. Well, Corey Kluber probably knows it. Yeah, we're going to go over 10 here. The fact that this is even double digits is a reflection of where these two pitchers are in their respective careers this year, and that's not in a trustable situation. So, no, I'm going to pass. Hard pass on this. Don't you dare go under. Don't you dare go under first 5. Don't you dare do anything of the sort. Lock up over 10 for Sunday Night Baseball. We're going to lock up a couple of things on the way out. As I mentioned, that's the Discord half off. Oh, yeah. Thumbs up, subscribe. Oh, yeah. Yeah.